it's not a full responsibility that it's taken by someone who receives spiritual knowledge. Because once you receive something, you should also share. That's more complete. You may receive as your reward, but it's much greater if you share it. No? So that's better. It's just better. Because even then, while more sharing, you still get more. That's a spiritual principle. So it's an emphasis of relieving others from suffering. Because everybody suffers because of ignorance. Once you give them knowledge and understanding, then that ignorance decreases. Suffering decreases. So it's a very grateful service. It's a very it's a very noble activity that one can undertake by giving this knowledge to others. It's the most important. Because everything else, again, any kind of other information, it's going to be temporary and relative. It's not going to satisfy anyone, neither it will completely alleviate someone from troubles. So only spiritual knowledge, because it's eternal, that's why it has eternal benefit. So it's better to share, better to give. So it depends on the context. So in the context of emphasis of giving, then this can be said. Okay. Okay, so let's have a little bhajan before we start. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 6 entitled Dhyana Yoga. Text 37. We're still incomplete, right? Not with the commentaries. Okay. So let us just remind ourselves what we were discussing. But first, who remembers what we were discussing? What were the points? Last two sessions we dedicated to try to explain this verse. So, we noted anything down. Yes?
You mentioned that the process of Ashtanga Yoga is not practical to be followed in this age. So,
What were the main, okay, but what were the main points of the verse? Let's first stick to that. What were the main points of the verse? Yeah.
the spiritual process, nothing is a failure by practicing spiritual process like material platform. If it is
Okay. So when we practice spiritual life, nothing is lost. Even though we may not complete the spiritual practice. Many times we see so many people come for programs, no? And then they don't come for programs. What they're doing something else. No? And they take very, very long diversions, doing so many different things. But eventually, if they start practicing spiritual life again, they will begin where they left off. Where they left. So nothing is lost. That's why even you, when you come to the spiritual practice, you start from where you left. Whenever earlier, previous life, lifetimes, who knows? You start from where you left off. On the spiritual platform, nothing is lost. Of course, a lot of time is lost. A lot of endeavor is lost. A lot of hopes are lost. Many things are lost in that sense. We waste a lot of lives, maybe even. So that's not a good idea. That no intelligent person should do. Why unnecessarily becoming distracted by material illusions? That's something we should not allow ourselves. We should somehow try to remain steady in this spiritual process and not waste time. Why you want to take birth again? You want to take birth again and go to school again and study again and work again and suffer all the family madness again and die again and again and again and again, all these things again and again. Why do you want to do this? For what? What is there in this world that is worthy of it? What is it? What is there in this world that it's worthy of so much struggle? If you have a proper knowledge, factually you will realize there's none of it. Absolutely none. It's just not worth it because it's illusion. Illusion means something that it's not. Maya, not that. I think it is. I think it's going to make me happy, but it's not. Just like, yesterday I had some discussions, and then everybody complains about relationships. And they say, oh, I didn't know this about that person, when we got, together and this and that. But that's the whole point of illusion. Will anyone ever reveal any of their weaknesses to somebody else? Nobody, ever. Be it a girl, be it a boy, whatever it is, they will all project their strengths. No, that's it. Just to impress each other. And then one will be in such a complete illusion and saying, yes, this is the perfect relationship. Yeah, this is the most wonderful thing that had ever happened in my life. I'm ready for it. And then after some time, when you put the guard a little bit down, like in fighting, you keep the guard up. You don't want to get punched. You have to protect yourself. So it's not easy to always hold it up. No, you have to have a lot of stamina, a lot of strength. No. It's not easy. At some point, you become lapsed. Many armies lose their battles because they become lapsed. Yeah? They relax. They underestimate whatever it might be. So in your fight with conquering over the other person, by trying to impress them with your whatever hairstyle, or you try to impress them with your new T-shirt, something, or you try to impress them with so many whatever. New perfume or something, I don't know, whatever. You try to impress them with so many things, so when they become impressed and sufficiently illusioned, then you think, yes, now, the war is over. I've conquered. But now the question is, who has been conquered? Whether you have been conquered or they have been conquered, that's a different discussion. Actually, both are conquered by illusion, by Maya, no? Both are conquered by Maya. And then you put your guard off, you put it down. No more, there's no need for impressing anymore, right? And then what happens? Then the powerful, influence of illusion becomes very low, very lapsed, no? And then reality starts surfacing out. And what is reality? It's a very grim reality. Reality that everybody has so many faults, that everybody has so many, things that are not really attractive at all. Everybody has some, idiosyncrasies, doing things the way somebody just hates it. And you start finding, just when you live together, sometimes there's some smallest little thing can start irritate you so much you just become mad. I don't know. You must be having some experience. I hope so. It's like, live with some. They just do something little that just disturbs you so much, and you start getting in some kind of conflict or something. What to speak of it when you start discovering, wow, this person never told me this about himself. Of course, why would they? You're in Maya, you're trying to conquer, you're trying to impress someone by whatever best assets and weapons you have. But again, it doesn't last for all. You can't hold it forever. You can't fake it forever. You can't cheat it forever. You can't bluff it forever. And that's why I said reality becomes exposed, and then once it's exposed, then everything crumbles down. It's difficult. It's almost impossible to maintain. So that's the power of illusion. That's the power of illusion. That it covers us. It completely keeps us in ignorance. So we become enamored, and then we are exploring this world and trying to enjoy this world, and we are trying to exploit this world. It's all a waste of time because it's all an illusion. There's no substance behind it. And when you start realizing reality, your life is finished. It's gone. 20, 30, 40 years, it's finished. And what do you do? What do you do? And it becomes a big problem. Then you still try to chase some another illusion, and the life is over. But then, okay, then as I said, then you have to take another birth because you have still so many desires unfulfilled. And you try to fulfill them in another body. And that's how life gets wasted. Fully in illusion. Just like that funny cartoon of a carrot being held in front of donkey, no? Man is sitting, holding carrot, and donkey is going around. So we're that donkey. They're just so foolish, just going around, after trying to get some taste, trying to acquire something in life, but we're always practically missing it out. We never get it. And never satisfied. Who has been ever fully happy and satisfied? No one. There's always some disappointment. Even if you get some, I was just thinking, like, okay, there was this yesterday a little bit, I think, strongly about this cricket match. No, everybody's so excited about cricket match. No? I mean, what was that? There was what kind of championship was that? Huh?
World Cup.
World Cup. But World Cup was 2-3 years ago or something.
T20.
What's the difference?
20 World Cup, 20 overs.
Huh?
Every 2 years is 20 overs.
Really? Every 2 years? That's too fast. Every 2 years. Really? 2 years have already passed so fast. Who was the last? Australia or something? Who won the last one?
Australia.
Really? How come they were so weak this time? Anyway. Come to finals. Every 2 years. Anyway, I thought it's like, in the West we have this, the West, yeah. Usually every 4 years you have Olympics or some world championship or something like that. Okay, cricket is every 2 years. I didn't know. So you identified with your cricket team. So that was after how many years India is a world champion? 17 years. So 17 years of suffering for 1 year of celebration. That's the ratio. You like that ratio? Huh? Is it sounding very exciting? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Yeah. So that's your ratio of living in this world. So much, hopes being lost, and you get little, just enough to make you keep on further hoping, you know. That's it. Did you ever think about that? What's the ratio of your happiness in this life? And what kind of happiness you're pursuing then? What you're expecting to get? And on top of everything else, but it's very interesting, if you never considered, maybe now you should, you are dependent, your happiness is dependent on someone else. What do you think? Is that a very good idea? That means for you to be happy, you know, you're making yourself dependent on someone else's, and again, maybe some strengths, but mostly weaknesses. You're dependent. You're making yourself dependent. Being dependent, that means you're not qualified. You know, you're not capable. So you're not capable to be happy. You have to be made happy. You know, like they have different levels of dependence. You know, like there is an intellectual dependence. Let's say when you try to in science or something, or you know, like you can't resolve something, so you try to get some tips from someone, you know, how to do it. You're intellectually dependent. Then you have emotional dependence. Oh, I need someone to. No, you're okay. Everything is fine. Somebody, you know, to console me. Somebody to, you know, encourage me. You know, somebody to push me a little bit forward. Somebody to give me some affection. You know, that's emotional dependence. You know, you're not capable on your own to, you know, do things. And then you have physical. Physical is pretty bad. You know, people who have physical disabilities or whatever. You know, they're so dependent. You know, like sometimes old people, they can't even go to toilet. Somebody has to, you know, do everything for them and stuff. It's pretty heavy, you know. So being dependent, it's a horrible situation. Spiritual life will make you independent. Understand? Independence, it's way better platform. As a child is dependent. You know, now you think I'm independent. Practically you're not. Most of you are still under parents' care, no? Parents are paying for everything, working hard for you, whatever, you know, movie tickets you go for and this and that, right? You know, having some good time that you think, spending for your girls. I don't know how that works nowadays, you know. I'm just like, you know, parents are working very hard for your gadgets so you can impress their girls and stuff like this, you know. You don't know what that means yet. So you're still dependent. You will see once you become apparently independent, how even then you're so dependent. Practically, you don't get rid of that dependency at all. You might think I'm independent. You may say, I got my job now, and I have my own place to stay, which is very difficult in Mumbai, as far as I know. But in the West, it's more easier, you know. And you may say, okay, now I'm independent. I don't depend on parents anymore. But then you become dependent on so many other things because you have to pay for that independence you have. You think many countries in the world are independent? Wrong. Wrong. They have to pay for their dependence or so-called independence. What do you think European Union is, for example? Everybody's paying taxes. What do you think NATO is? Everybody's paying taxes. What do you think this, other, I don't know, whatever other, you know, what they have in Russia? They have some? What?
Access.
No. You know, like some groups getting together. Yeah, they have, let's say BRICS or something.
Yeah.
BRICS or something like that's economical, right? That's not military. But you have military, you know, you have this and that. You're paying taxes. You know how much that you have no idea how every country is exploited for it. And people think we are free. No, you're paying taxes. Anyway, these are different discussions. I don't want to get into it, you know. But where is independence? People think we are independent. And then your own life, what is your independence? You're governed by media. You're governed by advertisements, by the whole social structure. Where is your independence? You're so indoctrinated by your education. Where is your independence? You're absolutely always dependent. You know, if you would have been independent, hey, great. You could control your mind, you could control your senses, you could really make your own decision. You don't even know what's your decision. Your decision is based on any kind of impression, you know, that you've received willingly, unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly, you know. You have no idea what is impressed in your mind. And then you identify, say, this is who I am and this is what I should do. Illusion, absolute illusion. You have no idea what you're supposed to do and what is to be done. That's why we have scriptures. That's why Vedas are called the eyes. They tell us what to do. They tell us how to be independent. So when you're independent, you can become interdependent by meeting some other independent people and create miracles. That miracle leads you to this bondage of material illusion. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do in the spiritual life. So, how to be free from this entanglement? Well, you have to start following the process. How to become independent? You have to start following the process. And you can't, as I said, you can't depend. This is madness. It's actually very sad position for anyone, as I said, whose happiness depends on someone else. You know, whose happiness depends on someone else. And that's why people create such illusory projections. They say, okay, this is my hero because he's the most successful. No? You always want your hero to be the most successful, right? Who is it? Okay, let's say, pick any sport. Now some, soccer, football championships are going on in Europe and US or whatever. So pick up any player. Yeah, he's my favorite, because he's so, why? Because he's so successful. Because if he's more successful, then I'll be more happy. What an illusion you're creating. You won't pick up somebody who is not so successful. Why? Because you'll be feeling so sad. He's going to be losing all the time. No. So you create your own illusion, projecting that your happiness depends on someone who is apparently successful. No, that's what you're doing. That's what everybody's doing. No? Who is most famous? Who is most this? Maybe some, in the Bollywood, some acting field or something. What if the movie becomes flop or something? Something happens else. So anyway, basically, the psychology is you're choosing someone who is more successful because you're hoping he'll make you more happy by you identifying with his so-called happiness. Of course, you have no idea what's his private life all about. You just live a life of illusion. Everybody's suffering. Everybody's suffering. Everybody has more moments of suffering than happiness. But you don't see that because that's not in the media. Or maybe it is. But you don't want to, dig on that. Or whatever. So we want to keep ourselves in illusion. So this world is the world of illusion. Because we wanted it. You wanted that illusion. You don't want to know the reality. You don't want to know the reality of someone you're following. You don't want to have him being fallen. And maybe he is a fallen, or she, or whatever. Because you want to be in illusion. You want to feel that happiness. But that's a dependent happiness. How can you be ever happy like this, depending on others? And that's why I'm saying, what's your ratio of happiness? Calculate for yourself. Calculate for yourself. It's more misery than any kind of joy that one can experience in life. That's why, again, Vedic scriptures say, don't depend on others. Why do you want to depend on others? Somebody who is winning, somebody is famous. And what do they have to do with you? What do you have to do with them? It's such an illusion that you're creating certain kind of relationship. I'm a big fan of this and that. If you would have spent a few minutes with that person, maybe you would find they're so obnoxious and horrible, And who knows what they would think of you. How many times, some fans have encounters with their idols and this and that they just, it's inconceivable what happens. Explosion, immediate chemical, negative reactions. And all the illusions just broken to pieces. Same thing I said with relationships. You create a bubble of illusion about someone, you start living with them for a few moments, you just start realizing, my God, what have I done? I remember that one statement, many people said the same thing, but I because they were so famous, that, what was his name? That producer Khan in Bollywood? Sanjay, no, what was he now? This, no, some 30, 40 years ago, that first of the Khans, but what was, he was famous. Huh? I don't know. And then some famous actress, she married him and then divorced him later on. Huh? Who knows that? Anyway, I don't know. So she said, this was the biggest mistake in my life that I married this fellow. And she didn't say it like this. Yeah, no, but she said, huh? I don't know. How do I know that? But I just, I saw that once, that was enough for me too. I just read headlines. I am going to read. I don't want to waste my time. I mean, because it's, So what is the use? You already married, you already lived for some time, and then you realize, wow, I made the biggest mistake. Well, too late. Sorry, you wasted your life, and what can be done now? See, that's the power of illusion. How many people made such a statement? That was my biggest mistake. Yeah, and then you marry again, and then another biggest mistake, and another, and how many whole life making mistakes like this? Because your whole premise, your whole foundation is completely wrong of what you're supposed to expect as happiness in life. And what can be done? So that's all ignorance. That's all ignorance. And again, even in the married life, especially, like I said, this is some kind of emotional or physical dependency. You depend on others, and you have no idea how crippled they are. And that's how you get also disappointed and you suffer. Because you think, if I marry this girl, wow, how happy I will be. And then you marry, and then you suffer like a dog later on when you realize she's not what you thought she is, really, So you made yourself dependent, and you made yourself, placed in such a terrible situation. So it's like that. So that life of dependency, that's a very terrible life. What means, again, independence? Independence means it's far more favorable condition, but it's based on knowledge. It's based on proper understanding. That's what we call sambandha. Understanding our position, understanding our relationship, understanding someone else's, and then understanding how to interact to gain what we really hope to gain. So 3 things are required. Understanding of ourselves, someone else, course of action, and clear expectations. If that's not there, you're going to be disappointed. And you're going to be always like that, remaining dependent, and you're going to always, pretty much, you're going to be in frustration and disappointment, suffering. So that's why making oneself dependent. And you see, it's funny, what an illusion psychology. You can have your daydreaming going on, but daydreaming, how long can it last? You have to face harsh realities or hard work, trying to get money, maintain yourself, living inside what kind of environment is struggle, big cities like this, this just, what's the use of your daydreaming thing? Oh, it would be nice like this, it would be nice like this. Oh, if I'm recognized as such, and this it happens, and somebody this, and this, and this, and this. It's all such an incredible illusion. It means so heavily dependent on such kind of illusions. And we are feeding ourselves with all these illusions. We're feeding ourselves with, as I said, with, identifying with this team, or identifying with that person, or this or that, or whatever it is. Any sphere of life, politics, social life, sports, entertainment, this, that, whatever you want. It's all an illusion if we don't understand our real position. We don't understand we are spirit soul. It has nothing to do with any of those, and none of this will ever make us happy. And as I said, just analyze. You just see it. Understand how much something is making you happy and how much something is making you mad, practically. So whom do you want to identify with? So that's why Shastra said, identify really who you are as a spirit soul. I start identifying with Krishna. Because Krishna is really what you're looking for. He is the source of everything you need. He is the source of everything we require. So then when we make a progress in spiritual life, then even though we gain some little knowledge, at least nothing's lost. Nothing is lost because we're on the right track. And that's the benefit of spiritual practice. Materially, anything you start, you don't complete, no gain, no benefit. No, you've just invested your energy for nothing. Big difference, big difference. So this is is something we've been discussing last time. Okay, any other points from last discussion? Anybody noted down anything? Nobody's noting anything. So again, 1 year here, 1 year out, nothing will remain. What's the use? Yes?
In the purport it is said that we have to become serious because we are having a war with the usage energy. So you gave the example of Arjuna, that you have to be focused attentive, otherwise you will be attending the new people. You have to be serious in spiritual life.
Yeah, we have to become serious. Because if we are not, Maya will bewilder us and distract us from real goal of life. Like I said, there are plenty of illusions. There's myriad of illusions. Maya has so many tricks. I'll tell you one story. Before this age started, Suraj, listen. Before this age started, Kali gathered his all big generals, ministers, no? And he said, how are we going to conquer now in this age? How are we going to conquer over these people, in this age of Kali? Everybody knows the age of Kali? No? Satya, Treta, Dvapara, Kali, we know this. There's 4 ages. Now we're in the Kali age, shortest, the worst, age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So how did that happen? So Kali had a meeting, of course, before he started his conquer. So then he had all these ministers, and then he found out one, oh, hey, here you are, nice, okay, what's your plan? What's your idea? What are we going to do? What's your strategy? And of course, he had them introduced. So I said, yes, I'm Mr. Lust. Oh, here I am, I'm ready. I will make mobiles available for everyone. I will have internet facility. 6G will come, and whatever, I don't know, all the nonsense. And everybody will have it freely available. And they can explore any site as much as they want, and I'll make everybody mad, after, everyone else's body and this and that. So he made all these different plans. He said, Kali said, wow, you're good, you're amazing. You're really my best friend. So nice, so good, Really made a really good plan, You really have such a wonderful assets to assist me. So Kali was very happy. Okay, then he saw, oh, Mr. Greed, what are you going to do? And then the greed comes. Yes, I'll bewilder people. They'll become greedy for more World Cups. They'll become greedy for this and greedy for that, and more achievement and unsatiated, absolutely, and so many things. And I'll bewilder them, like I said. And then Kali was so happy. He said, yeah, well, wonderful, great, you will also such a great assistant of mine. Then he saw illusion. He said, illusion, wow, what are you going to do? Well, he said, I'm going to bewilder people so badly, it's like they're going to be completely fogged, by their identity and so many things. Anyway, I don't want to make a show now, but it's like, I'll just cut the story short. But I hope you know where it leads, the point where it leads. So then there was illusion, of course. There was envy, oh, crooked one, this comes sneaky, hypocrisy, it's the age of quarrels. Hey, you can make drama on this. Yeah?
Just thinking.
Okay, just thinking. See, I'm also thinking the same, so it's okay. So make a drama for this Sunday, okay? He's all excited, Okay, good. But you work out the script a little more. Okay, so then, envy came, and then, envy between two friends, about the same girl and stuff like this, or, or this guy, get a better percentage or something, So yes, I will break the friendship. I will influence people to work against themselves and stuff like that, Then anger. Wow, anger comes. And Kali said, "Wow, you're my friend. People are every moment they're angry. So many disappointments, so much frustration. Because they've infused so many desires within them, and they can't fulfill it, and they're fuming, they're raging. They're fighting with so many others. What do we have? Anger, lust, greed, envy, madness. Madness, of course, everybody's mad already because of lust and everything else. That's there. And then he saw another fellow, all of these anarthas, no? You can work out all these anarthas. And then he saw another fellow sitting there. He said, well, I don't know you. Who are you? So he said, yeah, I'm also your minister. I'm a very important minister. He said, I mean, in which department? Kali was a little bit uncertain because he couldn't recognize this fellow. And he was, like really paka, he was like well dressed and, like really together and very confident, very powerful, even more than everybody else. He said, I mean, who are you? No. He said, my name is procrastination. Kali said, what do you do, What do you do? I'll tell you now. I'll explain my plan. And then he said like this. So I can't say, I'll do one thing. Anyway, it's imaginary, don't worry. Don't worry. He said, this is my plan. Look at this. And he started drawing the whole plan, mapping things out. Hey, Haribo, relax, don't worry. It's like, so he said, in Kali Yuga, when this so-called golden age tries to come, people try to do some chanting and shnik, something, going to some temple, doing waste, I will tell them, don't go this Sunday. I'll convince them. You have so many more important things to do. You can come on Janmashtami. This is big day. It's like very important, very very important. You just come on Janmashtami. That's enough because it's such a big day that once you come, you don't have to come anymore. Just you come on this one day. One day, and that's enough. You don't have to come to temple anymore. You don't have to listen. The classes, forget it. There's no need. You just come once a day. So then, yes, you come once a day. But somehow or other, because devotees are there, so somehow they call that fellow, on the Janmashtami. So some they say, no, you come more often. So procrastination. So I know that will also happen, but I have planned for that also. Even if somebody starts, let's say, practicing spiritual process, and then they say, we will wake up early in the morning, 3 o'clock. So then I will convince that person, don't wake up at 3 o'clock. You still have time. You have plenty of time. You can wake up at 3:30. Don't worry. Relax a little more. Just delay. Give it some more time. Don't worry. You have sufficient time. And then when 3:30 comes and snooze it again, you still, you have sufficient time. You can come from Mangalarti. Don't worry. Things are, you can work this out. And, so like this, and then you miss, of course. And, so time is, procrastinating. And then when you start chanting, they say, don't chant now, after Mangalarti. Don't chant. There's some important thing to be discussed, It's a very important, urgent matter. And then even when you start chanting, then, maybe some thoughts, you have to do this today, you have to do that. You just wait till it's, don't do it immediately. Anyway, so it's a whole drama that can be made, like this. And procrastination was so powerful, so convincing that Kali said, wow, you're really amazing. You're really such a good friend, It's just, you're so good. Because why should anyone practice spiritual life? Procrastination is so powerful. It tells us you can practice spiritual life when you get old. Now you're young. Why are you wasting your time? This is the time for exploration. This is the time to figure out who is this girl and that girl and the other one. Why are you want to waste your time? When you get old, then you come to temple, then you do all these nonsense things. Now don't waste the time. So Kali was so happy. I said, wow, you're really going to assist me. I'm so, we are so powerful, we have so many powerful generals now. We just have to get together and just kick it on, So that's what, we have to be very cautious what we're doing in life. Don't waste time. Time, it's all you have. There was discussion on Tuesday, Chandra Vega soldiers, Gandharva, and this, whatever nonsense, these Gandharvis are there day and night. Time, it's taking our time, it's all you have. Time is the only asset you have. You're wasting your time for all these nonsense illusions, being dependent on so many things for your happiness. You're wasting your life. You don't have it. Any moment, anything may happen. Literally. But we are not conscious of that. Why? Because we are troubled. We are overpowered by all these ministers, generals of age of Kali, to distract us, to bewilder us, to cheat us. And we are such a fools, we go down, we said, yeah, sure, let's do it. Fool number one. We are fools, really, literally. What can be done? Muda, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Mudo yam na vijanati. What can be done? So do something about it. Yes, you should do something. Don't waste that time. Use it for something that's valuable. Taste some happiness that's beyond the material body. How do you do that? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Practice spiritual process, and that's never lost. Try to understand whatever you do on this path, it's never lost. It will never be lost. It's for your eternal asset. It's never going to be lost. So that's what Arjuna is asking. And now what can be done? No more commentaries. Time is over. So we will do commentaries next time. What the acharyas say by this verse. So don't be in that illusion. Don't allow yourself to be cheated by the agents of Kali. They'll only cheat those who want to be cheated. That's it. They're not going to touch and influence those who are serious in spiritual life. Neither they can do that. Then that's what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Daivi Prakriti Mashita. Who is Mahatma? Mahatma who takes shelter of Daivi Prakriti, spiritual nature. If you take shelter of Maya Prakriti, then you're in trouble. And we are all taking shelter of Maya Prakriti. As I said, we all need, yes, we need support, we need emotional, this one, that one. We need so many things, yes. But where are you taking your shelter from? From Maya or from Krishna? From Daivi, or better to say Yoga Maya or Mahamaya. Yoga Maya is spiritual energy of Krishna. Are we wanted to associate with Yoga Maya trying to serve Krishna, or we try to associate with Mahamaya trying to exploit Krishna and Krishna's energy? That's our only choice. So why do we want to exercise this illusion that we can cheat Krishna, that we can exploit Krishna, just like Duryodhana did and everything? It goes for a while, illusion, but no illusion lasts forever. Illusion is great, but it bursts like any bubble very soon. And then what you're left with? Nothing. You've just wasted your life. Don't allow that to yourself. So get together, get some more knowledge, get some more understanding, do some practice, spiritual life. And as I said, don't forget that ratio. At least that should be some conscious, straightforward, clear-cut, proof, what's going on in your own life. What are you really getting of what are you expecting from? Straight science, straight rational science. And then do something about it. Be clear about it. Okay, were there any other points last time? Anything else? Anybody note it down?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question.
Okay. I hope it's on subject.
Actually, I want to ask one question that how can someone get rid of past memories of his or her relationship, which has causes him or her traumas and all these things?
I didn't hear it clearly, but something to do with last memory impressions, right? Huh? What? How to get out of
The traumas and
traumas and memories? Yeah, by infusing positive impulsions. So that means spiritual practice, festivals. Now we are having a very nice festival coming up, Rath Yatra, Jagannath Rath Yatra. So by participating, by getting out, jumping, pulling the rope, seeing the Jagannath, doing so many other sevas, whatever you have. It said if you have that impression, when you leave the body, it's so strong that it will force you to remember Lord Jagannath, then you'll go back to Jagannath. Haribo! Haribo! So that's why we have many festivals in spiritual life. We have of fun also in spiritual practice. You know, we're not dull denying process. You know, there's so many positive things. So by infusing mind with the positive, all this negative will evaporate. It'll just like you pour in something nice in that glass full of ink, that ink will be purified. You know, the glass will be purified from it. So start impressing something good and positive. Is that fine? Okay, any other last question? Otherwise, we end here. And we can discuss during the dinner. Okay, Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Chaitanya ki jai.